I've noticed something troubling. Masculinity today feels like it's slipping away. Real men, the kind who lead with respect, accountability, and strength, are harder to find. And it's not just hurting men, it's changing how women see us, how they trust us, and whether they even want to build with us. Today, I want to explore why this is happening, and if you're a straight man, what you should be doing daily to avoid falling into this trap. Welcome back. My name is Brennan, and I've been chasing self-development for over 15 years. I post content to help people grow, heal, and live a life with purpose. My mission is to help you live a 10 out of 10 life, so let's get into it. When I scroll through dating subreddits, Facebook groups, or hear women talk about dating, one thing comes up over and over again. Something has gone wrong with modern masculinity. Women say men don't treat them with respect, that chivalry is dead, and too many men avoid leadership or swing too far into passive behaviors. And honestly, a lot of it's true. It's showing up everywhere. We're in what researchers call a romance recession. The Survey Center on American Life found that 46% of people using dating apps feel negative or pessimistic about dating than before, and only 17% say they feel optimistic. Think about that. Only 17% of people are hopeful about meeting someone new. That figure should scare us. So let me ask you, when was the last time you genuinely felt excited about meeting someone new? It's probably been a while. Why is dating making people feel worse instead of better? Part of the problem is the environment that we've created. Pew Research shows that 30% of Americans use dating apps, and over 1,500 dating apps are available today. So the choices feel endless. And here's the problem with dating apps. They give us endless choice, and on the surface, it sounds amazing. Because as consumers, we love options. I know that when I go into the store and I see all these shoes and all these watches and all these fragrances, then I'm like, oh wow, this place is amazing. But too much choice doesn't create happiness. It creates paralysis. It makes us anxious and it makes us indecisive. And it makes us more likely to quit. See, psychologist Barry Schwartz called this the paradox of choice. The more options that you have, the less satisfied you are with any of them. Think about that. When you're always scrolling, there's always someone new around the corner, that means you're never really committing. You're never really investing. Instead of giving one connection a real chance to grow, you keep one foot out the door. And when both people are doing that, it's no wonder that relationships just constantly feel disposable. This is why so many people get burned out. Because dating isn't meant to be a shopping spree. It's meant to be an investment. You're not supposed to bump around like a car with no driver from lane to lane, crash to crash. You're supposed to pick a direction, get a person, and actually go somewhere together. This is why passenger princess duties are so helpful. The truth is, holding on and investing in one person till that situation is no longer viable is far better than bouncing around endlessly. Because depth comes from time and trust comes from consistency. Love comes from building, not swiping. More options don't mean more love. They mean more burnout, more ghosting, and fewer real connections. Dating has become commoditized. People scroll like they're shopping for a snack. Today I want Doritos, tomorrow I want Cheetos. And when you treat people like products, commitment disappears because you're always wondering what's the next best thing around the corner. And that's where masculinity comes back into the picture. Instead of chasing the perfect person, men need to focus on becoming the kind of person worth dating. That means working on yourself. Stop thinking, what can I get from a woman? And start asking, what can we build together? What do I bring that makes us stronger as a team or as a long-term fit? See, that shift from consumer to partner is where masculinity shows up in dating. But modern masculinity isn't about being dominant, stoic, or the loudest guy in the room. Modern masculinity is about emotional depth and balance. A man who is emotionally intelligent has empathy and vulnerability. A man who takes care of himself, not just physically, but in how he presents to the world. A man who can lead when leadership is needed, but who also knows when to slow it down and support and connect. It's not about control, it's about creating safety, about having a grounding presence and a steady confidence that makes others feel secure. See, modern masculinity is love. It's integrity, accountability, consistency, honesty, and respect. Not just respect for yourself, but for your partner. It's about building an environment where everyone can thrive and they can be their most authentic self. Because remember, we're all working on something. So creating a safe space is so important for trust and for people to be open and honest about who they are. Because here's the truth. When men stop showing up, it doesn't just hurt us, it changes the entire dating landscape. Women lose faith, relationships fall apart, and people invest less, and hope fades and pessimism rules. And we all end up frustrated. But when we get it right, everyone wins. That's the man women trust, that's the man the world needs, and that's the man you can choose to be. So, I bet you're asking yourself, well, how do I be that man? Start with the most basic thing. Ask yourself, do I keep my word? When I tell a woman I'm gonna do something, do I do it? Or do I just fade away? Do I miss dinners, dates, phone calls? Do I cancel plans, making vague excuses and sometimes obvious ones? If you answered yes to any of these, you may be part of the problem. And you're slowly training yourself to be unaccountable. I did an entire video on accountability. This is a critical value that men need to have. So ask yourself, if you were doing all those things, if someone was doing them to you, would you date you? The next thing is, audit how you show up into the world. Do you take care of your teeth? Do you take care of your hair, your skin, your grooming, your hygiene, your style? Do you smell good? Your presence matters. How you present to the world says a lot about who you are. So audit how you show up into the world. Measure your leadership style. Leadership is not about being an authoritarian figure. It's about creating clarity, communication, direction, trust, transparency, authenticity. It's about calming chaos, offering safety and security. So ask yourself, do I make people feel safe around me or do I create chaos? Practice emotional intelligence. Being a modern man requires emotional intelligence. So, do you shut down when things get hard or when you're upset? Or can you express what you need when things get real? Because those moments matter. And how you show up to conflicts and moments of stress test your ability to lead, whether you recognize it or not. Stop approaching dating as a what can I get situation. Look, we all want intimacy, passion, sex. Everybody wants that. Women want it too. But start asking yourself, what can I build with this person? What do I bring to the table that makes this an equitable relationship that can go somewhere? Be intentional about your time and respect the time of others. So here's what I want you to do. Check your integrity, audit how you show up, look at the way you lead, practice emotional depth, and flip the dating question. If you start working on those 5 areas, you'll quickly see where modern masculinity has slipped for you and how you can build it. Because being a modern masculine man isn't about chasing women, approval, or validation. It's about becoming a man who naturally attracts respect, love, and trust simply by the way he shows up and exudes it. So guys, all in there, if this helped you out, hit that like, subscribe button, drop a comment about how you're living as a modern masculine man. And remember, my reason for posting content has always been mission-driven. It's to help people heal, grow, and live a life they love. So if something hit, share it with someone who needs to hear it. If everyone who watches this video just shares it with one person, we can double the spread of this mission and do our part to make the dating landscape a little easier. And remember, life is always better when we stop pretending and start talking. Catch you next time.